Hello Dungeon Masters. This week, we continue to craft our corrupted monastery dungeon from the last couple of weeks. First, we create a nice symmetrical dungeon layout and decide what remnants of the original purpose survive to this day, and what new objects we want to add since the cultists began corrupting this holy site. Things like fonts for holy water or a pool to clean yourself before going deeper into the sacred place. Obviously, these will need to be described as corrupted or unclean. So I make sure to add many tombs sealed in the ground. These can be just for decoration, or you can have a lair action to have some minor undead break out of these floor tiles and assault the players. They could still be dressed in the clothes they were buried in, such as the regalia of the monks. I also add in some minor portals for you to summon some demons from, as well as a couple of skeletal creation devices with several charges, equal to the number of orbs surrounding them. I like taking objects from Dungeon Alchemist and using them in creative ways, so my skeletal factories are actually a bone crown, supersized and slightly sunk into the ground. Add some power orbs in the same style as the previous floor, and boom, magical skeleton factory created. The final floor will be the climax to our current dungeon run. As such, we should be adding a boss battle in stages, as well as some interesting cultist summoning and necromantic points of interest. My loose plan for the encounter is to have a corrupted or possessed archdeacon locked in an intense and desperate battle to summon or release a great ally to defeat the intruders, protected by corrupted artifacts and the other cultists seeking power and knowledge. These 4 other sources of power flow into the fonts surrounding the central magic circle. Until these power sources are destroyed, the archdeacon is protected magically and physically from harm. The archdeacon is locked in a difficult spell and won't take any action until the protection magics fail or the spell completes. Once they do, the spell will either finish and summon a strong foe for the party to eliminate, as well as the strong spell-casting archdeacon, or the spell will fail and the foe summoned will go wild and likely kill the archdeacon before squaring up to the party. The adventurers will either split up and take on the issues, or work together to slowly clear the floor. Either way, there will be lair actions. Mostly, these actions will be summoning weak foes or AoE style attacks that are telegraphed to happen at the end of next turn. So let's talk about our 4 sources of power. These will need to be destroyed or disrupted. You could make them simple puzzles to end their effect. Disrupting the magics holding them together will cease the unrelenting assault and give the players some breathing room. I think if I had a lower level party, I would make sure the events could be solved with brute force, or some divine assistance that would be in the form of a trapped spirit offering aid, or obvious solutions like kicking over candles to disrupt a summoning circle. High level groups don't get these gimmies, and in fact following them could have their own downside. Kicking over the candles disrupts the summoning only enough to make it wild and uncontrolled when it arrives. The simplest lair action would be summoning demonic entities from either the portals or skeletal golems from the skeletal factories. Now I won't tell you which to use for your players, as your players will likely destroy your carefully laid plans in the opening seconds of this event. Making a few versions of this fight to cope with these eventualities is a great way to reward them for their smarts yet challenge them. So, a little description is required for the floor, portals, and the skeletal factories. Beneath the mausoleum, through a labyrinth of hushed corridors and down a spiraling staircase shrouded in shadow, lies the final level in the dungeon under the church. This deepest sanctum is a stark realm where the sacred meets the macabre, a place that is soaked in the corrupted and the profane. Devices used to seek purity of body and mind, now covered in muck, blood, or objects of impurity. Skulls float in the pool used to clean the body. Whispering can be heard, disturbing the calmness of the mind. This place now inherently puts you on edge. At the heart of this subterranean labyrinth is a central room, a nexus of dark power and ancient mysteries. It is connected visibly by tendrils of magics to 4 other chambers, each harbouring its own secrets and guardians of the cult's most sacred relics and rituals. The architecture of this central space is a study in contrasts. Half of the walls are carved from the purest black marble, polished to a reflective sheen that seems to almost swallow the light. The other half are crypt walls, a grim mosaic of skulls of the fallen laid to rest here. These skulls, interspersed with bones and darker recesses, stare out from the walls, a morbid audience bearing witness to the rites and ceremonies being performed here. In 2 of the secluded chambers of this dungeon, shrouded in darkness and suffused with an air of unspeakable ancient power, stands a colossal skeletal structure that dominates the space. This towering circular construct, a macabre masterpiece of necromantic engineering, is assembled from bones of all sizes and types, ranging from the smallest animals to the largest of beasts, and even humanoids. Its bones are not merely joined, but fused together through dark rituals, creating a framework that pulses with an eerie, unholy energy. This skeletal giant, a behemoth to the underworld, is positioned at the centre of the chamber. Its orbs, like hollow eye sockets gazing into nothingness, yet seemingly aware of all that transpires within its reach. From its outstretched limbs, it weaves the dark, strong energies present here into creating golems made from dust, bones, and viscera. Before the eyes of any onlooker, the bones begin to assemble themselves, rising and joining in a grotesque parody of life. Skulls top the growing structures, empty eye sockets filled with the flicker of malevolent intent. Limbs form, elongated and twisted, pieced together from mismatched parts. These shambling mounds of bone and dust rise, animated by the will of the skeletal giant, each movement sending clouds of dust swirling through the air. In the other 2 corners of the floor, where the air is thick with arcane energy and the scent of forbidden rituals, a corrupted cultist stands before an unstable portal. This gateway, a swirling maelstrom of yellow and white energies, crackles with raw, untamed power. Its hues are not pure but tainted. The yellow is sickly, like the jaundiced eye of a diseased god, and the white is not the pristine white of innocence, but the pale, leering grin of death. The cultist, his form twisted by the corruption that has seeped into his very essence, holds his arms wide, his palms facing the chaotic vortex. Dark symbols are etched onto his skin, glyphs that glow with a sinister light, mirroring the tumultuous colours of the portal. His eyes, devoid of any sanity, are locked onto the writhing mass of energy, fixated with an intensity that speaks of madness and a desperate seeking of power. The air around the portal pulses with the forces of the energies being manipulated. Arcane forces, wild and untamed, lash out from the vortex, causing the very fabric of reality to shiver and warp. The ground near the cultist is cracked, veins of energy snaking through the stone, a testament to the dangerous power at his command. The portal, held open by the will of the corrupted cultist, serves as a bridge to realms unknown. It is a doorway that should never have been opened, a gateway that threatens to unleash chaos and destruction upon the world. Despite the danger, the cultist chants in a language forgotten by time, his voice a mixture of command and desperation. With each word, the portal pulses stronger, its edges flickering as if it's struggling to maintain its form. The cultist's body strains under the effort, veins standing out against his skin like dark rivers, his entire being dedicated to keeping this gateway to the unknown open. Okay, so that should be enough description to get you started. I really enjoyed making this monastery dungeon. If you get a chance, drop me some feedback on the videos so I know that they are helping you plan your roleplay sessions and that you are getting the most from Dungeon Alchemist. My goal is to show you how making good maps can really help your players with their immersion and assist you in your descriptive work as a games master. Thanks for watching. As always, Please help us make more videos for you. It's free and easy. Hit that like button and sub if you want more. Leave a comment below to tell me what you would like to see next. And as always, may the dice ever be in your favour.